Now to an exclusive interview. A top federal watchdog tells First Coast News the audit into the state's Rebuild Florida program is expected to wrap up in about 6 months. Now, this comes after our year-long investigation into growing questions about delays, mismanagement, and millions in disaster recovery funds to help Hurricane Irma victims. Tonight, the process to track how your taxpayer dollars have been used to work on homes across the state. Nearly 8 years after Hurricane Irma, some Floridians are still waiting for promised help to rebuild. Now, a federal audit is underway into how the state is spending nearly $500 million in recovery funds.
The reporting certainly helped inform the way we're seeing the issue. The work you all have done in highlighting the concerns from the individuals in the community has definitely been helpful context for us.
The Rebuild Florida Irma program, overseen by Florida Commerce, is funded through a $480 million federal grant to help vulnerable Floridians repair or replace their homes damaged by Hurricane Irma in 2017. But a joint investigation by First Coast News and 10 Tampa Bay uncovered skyrocketing costs, long delays, and substandard repairs.
The goal of this audit is to assess the progress that the Florida Department of Commerce has made in their program. So we're focused primarily on the outcomes, and then we're also going to take a look at the quality of the homes that have been built and assessing whether they meet quality standards both at HUD's requirement level and at the local county code level.
Florida Commerce says it encourages the audit of the program and is grateful for the HUD Inspector General's partnership. Quote, "We are confident that this investigation will support our assertion from summer 2024 that our former vendor, IEM, performed poorly and obstructed completion." IEM was awarded a $252 million contract by the state to administer the program. When we sat down with the head of Florida Commerce in May 2024, that's who the state put much of the blame on.
Clearly, our main contractor, IEM, clearly some of our contractors, clearly they were okay with abdicating their responsibility.
IEM sent us a lengthy statement to set the record straight and says Florida Commerce's assertions that the company performed poorly and obstructed completion are false and misleading. The company also sent us a video statement from CEO Brian Kuhn saying IEM's contract was performance-based and there was no incentive to delay, and every home completed was signed off on by local inspectors and Florida Commerce.
Throughout our contract, IEM advocated for homeowners. We raised concerns about poor general contractor performance, requested reassignments, and pushed for accountability and efficiency in well-documented conversations. Time and again, IEM's requests and recommendations were not acted upon or were denied.
We've asked multiple times for Florida Commerce to once again sit down with us since it's been more than a year. They declined. And since we started investigating, previously public contracts have been removed from the state's website. The people who are still waiting for their houses to be rebuilt or repaired feel like they are forgotten. They feel like there is zero oversight. No one is being held accountable. As far as Florida Commerce goes specifically, who is to hold them accountable?
We've talked with HUD extensively about the Department of Commerce, and they understand why we're there, and we're communicating about everything we're seeing as we're going. So ultimately, HUD will be the one to hold them accountable. We're a part of that process, but that's the true, that's where the buck stops.
Deputy Inspector General Stephen Beggs says the federal audit will look at dozens of rebuilt homes.
This is a large program within HUD's disaster portfolio. There's a lot of funding, over $500 million available, and there's information indicating that the Department of Commerce may be behind schedule in certain areas. Based on our risk assessment, we decided this was a good time for us to come in and take a look at. Right now, while money's still on the table,
the audit is expected to be complete by January 2026.
As soon as it is public, that starts a process where there's accountability on both HUD and the Department of Commerce to address our recommendations. And if they don't address them adequately, then we'll continue pressing for additional actions.
Now, if you have any information about fraud or waste involving HUD funding, the Inspector General's office wants to hear from you. And you can call their hotline at this number right here. It's 1-800-347-3735, or you can report it online at hudoig.gov. And right now on firstcoastnews.com, you can read IEM's full statement.